Hi guys, my name is Becca. Welcome back to my channel, and today I'm here with my August TBR. I am so excited for this month's TBR. Oh my god. It's been a while since I filmed a TBR. I've missed them. Honestly, I'm one of those people that need to have a TBR in order to know what I'm reading for the month and be able to choose from those. I can't mood read. It's really difficult for me to mood read. It just turns into a giant slump if I don't have something to read right away. Like, if I don't even know what I want to read or what I need to read, it just gets really difficult. And if I don't have a list of things, it makes it difficult. There are times where I want to mood read, and it's very seldom, but I don't want a whole month of mood reading. I usually just make up a TBR in my mind of what I'm definitely going to be reading that month and just go from there. At least the ones that like I want to get done that month, and then if I allow myself to mood read, that'll be fine. But I just can't mood read all the time. I need to have a set TBR. At least some kind of TBR. And then of course, August is going to be the most ambitious TBR I'm going to have for a while. I do have a book club that I'm in, which is the BDA or BDA book club. It's Books, Depression, Anxiety, and we read a book every 4 weeks. We are on our second. I think next week is our last week for that one, and then we're going to start on the next one. I could be wrong. There could be another couple of weeks. I think we don't start the next book until the 18th. I think. I'm not entirely sure. But I am part of that. And then there's also a mini book club in that, which is a horror one. And the first book that we're reading for that is one that I want to read. So I guess I'm going to be reading that one. That one, though, I think will start the beginning of August. So yeah, I have those, as well as a readathon. This is the Orillium Magical Academy readathon. If you remember years ago, G over at Book Roast did a Harry Potter style readathon. She did that for many years. I absolutely loved it. It was the Owls and Newts, and it was fantastic. Until J.K. Rowling opened her mouth. Again. And understandably, G just wanted to get away from Harry Potter, at least for these readathons, I think, in general. So she created her own world, and it's just been a blast making a character, reading books for certain prompts, and it's just been a lot of fun. We started off with the novice path, I think last year sometime. I want to say somewhere in like August or September, but I could be wrong. But that was a readathon created to build your character as well as journey to the school. So you had to read books that worked for those prompts that'll get you to the school, but not inside. And then we did a Gear Up readathon that was like in the very beginning of this year sometime. And that was just to gear our character up with a conduit and, what was it? I think a legacy and a conduit. Yeah. So it was a really mini readathon. I think it was only for the weekend or something like that. And yeah, so I did that. And then we had our first semester at the Orillium Academy in April. And it's basically what the Owls and Newts used to be, just in a different world. And I'm perfectly fine with that. So a little backstory on my character. I don't have much. I'm not creative and I can't think of things like that. But my character's name is Aelin Batosai. Aelin from Throne of Glass, because it's my favorite series of all time. And it's also my name on Final Fantasy XIV. which I have talked about playing that game before many, many times. It's also how I met my boyfriend, and it was just a game that me and all of my friends played. And it's still a game we play, it's just I've taken a break from it again. It's a game that I need to take a break every once in a while, just to focus on other things, because 14 can take over my life. But Aelin is from Throne of Glass, Batosa is from Rurouni Kenshin, which is my boyfriend's favorite anime, and it's actually one of my favorites too, so it works out perfectly. I come from the city of Carador. I can't remember exactly what that was all about, but it was to read an urban book, like an urban, something set in an urban, I can't think. It was just because I was reading an urban paranormal romance, so it worked out. And then I am an elf, because obviously. And my familiar, because I did choose a familiar, is Cerberus. I love Cerberus so much, and if I could have Cerberus as my familiar, it's perfect. My 3-headed dog, I don't care. I love him. And then my conduit is a spellbook, and my guild is Order of the Crescent. So, yeah. My calling, because in April you did have to choose a calling. I chose 2, because I'm extra. And honestly, I feel it was a calling, or they were callings that both me and my character would love. So it worked out perfectly. It's Beastmaster and Moon Warden. And I feel like I could be the Beastmaster on the moon and guarding the moon, like being the warden of the moon. I think that's perfect. Also, some of the classes interlap, so it works out. So for each class, you have 3 prompts each. Each one corresponds to a grade. So the first would be the grade would be O. The second would be Q, and the third would be D. So basically just passing, above average, and excellent, I guess, would be that. At least in my mind, it's like that for grades. So in order to achieve your in order to finish your callings and do all this, you do have to pass these exams, but you only need to get a certain grade in order to pass for each exam that you have to take. So for my Beastmaster, we're gonna go with that one first. I need to get an O in Alchemy, which is just the first prompt. I need to get a D in Animal Studies, which is all 3. I need to get an O in Spells and Incantations. And then I also need to get a Q in Restoration. For my Moon Warden, I need to get a Q in Astronomy, an O in Elemental Studies, an O in Spells and Incantations, and then a Q in Restoration. So Spells and Incantations and Restoration overlap, so it works out perfectly. And then for the ones that overlap, I'm choosing a book for each of my callings. I'm not going to have the same book for both of them. So when it comes to only needing to read 1 prompt in Spells and Incantations, I will choose 2 books for that 1 prompt. There are, I want to say 1 or 2 prompts that I have multiple choices for, because I don't exactly know what I want to read. So I will be choosing 2 books for those, but I won't actually be reading 2 books. I'll just have 2 choices, if that makes sense. Okay. There are also side quests, or, well, just regular quests. Yeah, they're basically side quests. So there's 10 so far. I don't know if there's going to be more. I think there were 12 for the last semester, so I'm not entirely sure if there's going to be more. But I do have, I think, 9. I have 9 of them that I would like to do. So there is that. Also, again, I'm extra, and even though I only need to read sometimes one book for each class or for a certain class, I will be trying to read 3. So I'll be trying to at least get a different grade in most of them. It won't necessarily count to my callings, that'll all get taken care of, but I just have books that I wouldn't necessarily like to read. So I'm going to just keep going. There's also classes I don't have to take, like Art of Illusion, that I will be taking. I'm just gonna base this off how myself and my character would like to do this, and I am an extra person, so I would necessarily want to get the best grade possible in a lot of these exams. So I'm just gonna keep going. And then I would also like to take classes that necessarily I don't have to, but don't care. So, yeah. One more thing is I had already filmed this video before. I filmed it the other day, and I was sick with allergies. My allergies got the best of me, and I didn't like how that turned out. So there are certain prompts that necessarily I would have done. Oh, cool. Oh, okay. Sorry, I just got a text. I would have necessarily done on video, but I have already done it, and I don't want to switch the books out. I don't want to change what everything turned out to be, because it ended up working out real well for me. So we're just gonna keep it with it, like keep with what I've got. But I'll just let you know what it is. Okay, so first up, all right, let's hope we can do this quick. Also, the last video was 45 minutes, and I've already spent 12 minutes explaining to you how all this works. So hopefully, this will go by quicker. I'm not going to talk too much about what each book is about, because it would not go by quick at all. The first book I think we're reading in August for the book club is Things We Never Get Over by Lucy Score. I just know this is going to hurt. And I think this is set in a small town. So I'm excited. Also, a lot of people have been talking about it, and I really want to read it. The other one, the horror book that we will be reading in the beginning of August. So I don't think I will be finishing Things We Never Get Over in August, but I will be starting it. This could be a problem. If it becomes where we don't finish it, I actually thought we were going to be starting it in the beginning of August, so finding out we're not going to be starting it until the end, or well, the middle, and we're going to be doing it for 4 weeks. Either I'm just going to read ahead of everybody and take a whole bunch of notes, which I could do, or I'm going to, because I think I have that book for a certain prompt, so if I have to, I'll choose a different book. But so far, we're just going to go with this. But I will probably just read ahead and take notes of each chapter, because I did that for the other 2 books too. So the horror book is Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. I just know that this has got a child drawing pictures that seem very lifelike about a man dragging a woman, her lifeless body in the forest. And it's like a nanny watching that kid and then realizing what's going on in those pictures and figuring out what the hell is happening. It just sounds really good. I really want to read it. So yeah, I'm happy we're doing that. And then one other book is my review book for the month, because I do review books on NetGalley. And for August, which this comes out in the very beginning of August, but it's fine. I have Husband Material by Alexis Hall. I literally just got this, like, I think last week from NetGalley, I just got approved for it. So I'm not really going to worry too much about it. I am still going to read it in the month and do my review for it, but it is a sequel to Boyfriend Material, which I really liked. I think I gave that 4 stars or something like that. I don't remember you have 4. I don't remember too much about it. I just remember really enjoying it. So I'm excited to go into the sequel. Maybe I need to do a recap of boyfriend material, but we'll see how that goes. Okay, so now we can actually talk about the books that I plan to read for my classes. Okay, so for alchemy, like I said, I only need to get an O in this exam, but I'm going to be getting a D anyway. So for alchemy, the first prompt is to read a book on someone's worst list. This is the one I have two choices for. One of them, I really should have thought about getting all these books out, but it's fine. One of them is Second First Impressions by Sally Thorne. I read The Hating Game first. Like the very first time I read The Hating Game, I hated it. I remember giving it like 2.5 to 3 stars at first. I reread it like a year or two later and loved it. I gave it 5 stars after that. I was just like, what the hell? I read 99% Mine and hated it. I'm not rereading that. I have no interest in rereading that. I don't even remember what that's about. But I am going to read this one and see how I feel about this. This is, I think, my last chance for Sally Thorne. I will still love The Hating Game. I really want to watch the movie. Oh, I could have chose that from what... It's fine. It's fine. I chose a really good one, so I don't care. You'll find out what I mean. But this is, I think, set in a retirement villa. And it's a romance. So we're going to see how it goes. But if I don't enjoy this, then I think I'm done with Sally Thorne. And I'll just stick with loving The Hating Game, and that's it. But the other one for that, because I know some people... Oh, also... Jess from Peace Love Books did like a reaction to people's worst books of 2021 or something like that, and that was on it, which is how I know it's on someone's worst list. But this one I've seen on Goodreads, some people give this 1 star, so I'm choosing this. A Touch of Darkness by Scarlett St. Clair, which is a Hades and Persephone retelling or reimagining or something like that. I want to read it. This has Cerberus in it, so of course I would want to read it. I love Cerberus. But it's also Hades and the Persephone myth, which is one of my favorite myths of all time. So I would love to read that. And it's a smutty, I think it's really smutty. So those are the 2 choices for that. I have a feeling I might read both. We'll see. To read an orange book is the next prompt. And for that one, I chose one of my new favorite authors. Or at least they're shaping up to be my new favorite author. Or one of my new favorite authors is Daphne Perry. And I really want to read Steel King by Daphne Perry, which this one is on Kindle Unlimited. This whole series is on Kindle Unlimited. And it's only on, I think, until the end of August, maybe. So I really want to read these. And this is orange. I think it's set in a small town. I'm pretty sure it's got a motorcycle club or something like that. Yeah, I'm just going to read that. And then the last prompt for alchemy is to read a book with a 1-word title. And everyone's praising this book. Pardon my pun. And that's Praise by Sarah Kate. Everyone's talking about this and giving it 5 stars and absolutely loving it. I think this has to do with someone, like the girl's ex-boyfriend's dad. Like, I think she sleeps with him. I'm okay with that. I want to read it. That just sounds really good. That's all I needed to know, and I was in. Okay, so animal studies is the next exam, and I have to read all 3. So I have to get a D in this class, or for this exam, in order to get, pass my calling. So I need to read a book with a familiar/animal companion, which... Obviously, this would work because it has Cerberus. I mean, actually, I also think maybe this could work because there's turtles, but I'm not really sure if that would work. But one I think would really work that just sounds really cute, and I've heard some good things about it, is Eva Evergreen's Summer Magical Witch by Julia Bay. All I know is it has Kiki Delivery Service vibes, and I like Kiki's Delivery Service, so we're gonna go with that. I'm pretty sure she's just a young witch trying to figure out... Actually, I think she has, like, 1% power or something like that. She only has, like, 1% of her abilities. So things start messing up quite a bit, and it sounds cute, and I got it out from the library digitally, so we're gonna try that. But if that doesn't work, I could read Touch of Darkness, and it's, second first impression, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, next one is to read a book with a raven on the cover or title. And I chose Teen Titans Raven by Cami Garcia and illustrated by Gabriel Piccolo. Might call him Piccolo because of Dragon Ball Z. This just follows the Raven from the Teen Titans. And I love the Teen Titans and I love Raven. So we're going to go with that. It's also a graphic novel, so we'll go by quick. I also have that out from Hoopla. So most of these I have either from Kindle Unlimited, Hoopla, my library, physically, or I have them on my Kindle that I bought a long time ago. So that's where all of these are coming from. The last prompt for animal studies is to read a book with a rabbit on the cover or in the title. And I had many choices for this one. Well, not many, because there aren't that many books. But I had quite a few choices for this one, and I chose a weird one. I chose Bunny and the Bear by Eva Longlais. I'm pretty sure this is a shape-shifting, like, smutty book. She's a bunny, he's a bear. Also, there's a bunny right there. So it's a little rabbit. So works perfectly. And I have that, I apparently didn't even know about this book. Well, I don't remember knowing about this book for a while. And then, I was looking up books for this prompt, and that came up, and I was like, oh, okay, maybe I'll read that. Smutty, cute, okay, let's go. And I realized I owned it on my Kindle that I don't remember getting. It must have been like free or 99 cents or something, like a long time ago. It was just stuck in my Kindle library from so long ago. So yeah, we're going with that. All right, so next up is Art of Illusion. I don't technically need to read anything for this, but we're going to do it anyway. The first one is a book you don't know much about, which is perfect. First off, I don't know a lot about any of these, but this one is Riven Knight by Devney Perry, which is the sequel to Steel King. I think there's like 5 or 6 books. I can tell you, actually. There's 6. There's 6 books in the series. And I'm hoping they stay after August, at least maybe until September, but we'll see. It's till the end of, like, summer for these books. So I need to read all of them soon. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. It's gonna be fun. But yeah, I'm gonna read Riven Knight. Again, don't know anything about it. So a book under 300 pages is the next prompt. I don't know if you can guess where I'm gonna go with this. I mean, I don't know why that's not coming up. There it is. Found it. Christmas in Quincy by Devney Perry, which is the prequel to the Eden series. And I read books 1 and 2 of the Eden series and absolutely fell in love. I have this one and book 3 coming to me today. So also, I'm foaming at the mouth to just start my August TBR now. It's Friday before the readathon starts, which it starts on Monday, because the first actually happens to be on Monday. I am foaming at the mouth to start. It's killing me. I am reading a book I just started today, and I'm reading all of it in like one sitting. But I honestly want to read I want to start my readathon now. And I'm like holding myself back. It's bad. And then lastly for Art of Illusion is to pick a prompt from last semester. So a prompt from April semester. And so I chose the Art of Illusion prompt, which is hilarious, which is to read a book with a trope that you really like And one of my favorite tropes, other than small town romance, is single parent trope. Yeah. And no, I'm not choosing a Daphne Perry book for that. I am choosing All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. All I know is that I think it's a small town. It's a slow burn because it's Mariana Zapata, and it's a single parent trope. And everyone seems to like it. So I'm going to go with that one. All right, next up, astronomy. I do have to get a Q, but we're going to go for a D. Letter L in the title is the first prompt. Yeah, so I just need to find a book with the letter L in the title. Doesn't have to start with it, doesn't have to end with it, just has to be in the title. I chose Garnet Flats by Daphne Perry, which is the third book in the Eden series, and it just came out on Tuesday. This is coming to me today. This is one of the reasons I'm foaming at the mouth to start my TBR now. I will be starting with Daphne Perry. It's not gonna, it's not gonna happen. Okay, so the next one is to read a book with archers or rangers. I think I have two choices for this. Yes, I do. The first choice is, what's it called? A book I unhauled, I think, when I moved, but one I definitely still want to read, and that's Sherwood by Megan Spooner. This is like a retelling or reimagining. It's more like a continuation. Robin Hood dies, and Maid Marian takes over and becomes the next Robin Hood, or the new Robin Hood. Yeah. I have that from Hoopla, so I'm going to read that. The other one, though, I think I also have from Hoopla, or I have from the library. I also own physically, but they're packed away, and that's We Hunt the Flame by Hafsa Faisal. You can see the arrows there, so yeah, you just know. I've read this book before. I gave it 4 stars. I want to reread it and go on to the second book, which is the last in the duology, which is The Sands of Arabia. Gonna stop now. But yeah, I just really, really want to read that. So I don't know when I'm gonna read that, but I'm gonna read it soon. So either this month or next month. We'll see how it goes. All right, so for the last prompt that I don't necessarily have to read, but I'm gonna hopefully do anyway, is a book with multiple people on the cover, and I've already shown you that book. It's Husband Material by Alexis Hall. So that's practically gonna get done anyway. All right, so we're skipping 2 classes, which is Conjuration and Demonology, and we're going into Elemental Studies, and that is to start a book with a drink. It could be any book, I just have to start it with a drink, which is perfect. I'll start it with a Coke. Shoot, what's it called? I always drink Coke. That's my drink of choice. So I'm going to do Eyes on Me by Sarah Kate. I don't know what... I think this is a stepbrother romance, but I'm not entirely sure. I just want to read it. Next up is to... Okay, so this one is to point at a book and then pick from the adjacent to it. So, as you can see, I only have this shelf. I don't have all of the shelves I used to have, which would have made all of this so much easier. So what I did is what's it called? I took a picture of my notes app, which had all the books that were technically on my radar, as well as some books that I had on my shelves. And I did a random number generator, and whatever book I came up to, I just picked adjacent from it, so the book above or below it. So the one I actually got to was Fake It Till You Bake It. I really want to read that. I don't remember what it's about. I don't even remember the author. I don't have the author's names on here, but I really wanted to read it, but I landed on that one. So I had to choose one adjacent to it. So I decided to choose a book that's on Kindle Unlimited and a book that I really want to read. Oh, that sounds really good. Oh, no. Okay. If I can find it. There it is. It's called Faking with Benefits by Lily Gold, and this is a reverse harem friends to lovers romance. Sounds good. And then the last one for elemental studies is to read a book with a sea setting. And everyone has been talking about this, but mostly, what's it called? Riley from Riley Marie loved it, so I want to read it and love it. And that's Sea of Ruin by Pam Godwin. I just know this is pirate romance, and I think it's smutty. So, okay. Sounds good. Okay, next up, Spells and Incantations. This is the one I need to read just one prompt, but 2 books, because it's for both of my callings. I did the color wheel and I got blue, so we're gonna go with, or this is the book I went with, Archer's Voice by Mia Sheridan. I just know this is gonna make me cry, and I think it's set in a small town. And yeah, I want to read that. And then the other one I'm going to do is Things We Never Get Over by Lucy Score. Unless that doesn't happen, but I'm pretty sure that will happen. So yeah. Then we skip 4 more classes, which is Artificery, Inscription, Lore, and Psionics and Divination. There are some classes I really would have loved to choose, but I can't read that many books in a month. Even though I think I can, I would love to, but I don't think I'd actually be able to do it, as well as also working. And oh my god, I think it's storming outside. Didn't see that coming. But yeah, I would love to, but it's not gonna happen. And for these, you can't double up, so no. But lastly, for the classes I need to take is Restoration, and I'm gonna try and do all 3. So the 2 that I need to do, though, are to read a book with a single object on the cover, and I do need to have 2 books for this. I only have 1 book each written down, but I do remember, at least, I think I remember. Yeah, I think I remember. So for a single object on the cover, first up we have, it's here, Norse Mythology by Neil Gaiman. This is just a collection of myths written by Neil Gaiman. They're all Norse myths, so yeah, I want to read that. And then I remember choosing Kate in Waiting by Becky Albertalli. This is just focused on like her face, or the outline of her face, so we're just gonna go with that. And this, I've read Simon vs. the Homo Sapiens Agenda by Becky Albertalli and absolutely loved it. So we're gonna try and read her, newest one that I know of. She might have read or written one after this, but I'm not entirely sure. But I know this is a best friends, they both are crushing on the same person or something like that. So yeah, we'll see how that goes. So the next one is to read a book that is the oldest book on your TBR. So for the one for sure that I have is Beartown by Frederick Bachman. I think I've owned this for years. And I've been wanting to read it for even longer than that. So I just know this is set in a town called Beartown that is just obsessed with hockey. And that's like the only thing they really know and love. And yeah. And then I think one of the hockey stars ends up raping a girl in this town. So I think it's gonna just set a whole bunch of stuff on fire, basically. Which I would love to read. I can't remember what I also chose, but I have a feeling it might have been this one, which is The Serpent King by Jeff Zetner. I honestly, I haven't owned all of these books for that long, so I'm just going with the ones that I remember owning for a long time. So this might not be one of the oldest books on my TBR. There might be ones I've owned longer, but I can't really remember. And I think this is a YA contemporary that is gonna make me cry. So we'll see how that goes. And then last is to read a book in 1 to 2 sittings. For that, I decided to also random number generate my books on my radar list, and whichever one that it landed on was the one I was going to read. It landed on the first one, which is crazy one, but it was on my radar because I did want to read it. It sounded not good, but interesting. And it's smutty, so it was like, yeah. But it's Treasure of the Abyss by Tiffany Roberts, and it's book 1 in the Kraken series. Just a smutty Kraken romance, you know? Okay, and it's short. It's not short. I thought it was short. Okay, well, still, it will hopefully be. It won't take me too long to read that. All right, so then we also skip the last class, which is shape-shifting, and then we go straight into the quests. I was hoping that this would go a little shorter than the last one, like the last video, but this isn't gonna happen. It's already 35 minutes in. All right, so for the quest, the first one is to read a book and also watch the movie adaptation. So I chose a book that technically I have been wanting to read for the longest time. And then the movie came out, and my brother watched the movie, and I still haven't done that. And that's The Perks of Being a Wallflower by Stephen Chbosky. Another YA contemporary that's bound to make me cry. And then the next one is to read a book with more than one animal on the cover, and I'm cheating and I don't care. So The Stardust Thief by Chelsea Abdullah. It has a camel on the cover. And then if you go to the back, there's that camel again. I'm counting them as 2. Didn't have to be more than one certain type of animal. Yeah. But this is a desert setting book, I think. And it's kind of, I think, 1001 Nights inspired or something like that. And our main character has to go on a quest to find this lamp to restore their barren land, but in doing so could, I want to say eradicate, well, yeah, you had to sacrifice all the jinn to do that, and I think one of the closest people to her is a jinn, so this could be difficult, but it sounds really good, so I want to read it. All right, next up we need to read a book with the author names starting with either a B or an F. I'm going with the first and last name, so like either one, because it doesn't say. And I am choosing someone with the last name starting with a B. And I am choosing My Killer Vacation by Tessa Bailey. I think this is a bounty hunter romance, so we're gonna go with it. Next up is to read a book with shrubbery on the cover. And I just chose Twice Shy by Sarah Hoggle. There's like that, so I'm counting that as shrubbery. And I don't necessarily know what this is about. It's just a romance. And I've read Sarah Hoggle before and really liked it, so yeah. Next one is to buddy read a book. That's going to be Hidden Pictures by Jason Rekulak. And then the next one is to read a book featuring undead characters. There's so much I could choose for this, but the one that I am apparently going with, and I don't know why, I am apparently crazy because I could have chose anything for this, and I still might change it, but the one I'm technically going with right now is Crave by Tracy Wolf. All I know is it doesn't take itself too seriously, so we're going to see how that goes. But yeah, vampires, undead characters. Next one is to read a book or a historical fiction. I'm going with historical romance because that's the type of fiction I like to read. I mean, there's also other ones, but historical fiction is normally romance for me. And that one is going to be To Sir Philip with Love by Julia Quinn, which is Eloise and Philip's love story. So it's a Bridgerton series, and it's book 5. Next one is to read a book with a morally gray character, and for this I could have chose a lot, so many, but I chose one that I technically have from Audible when I still had my Audible. I had an Audible free trial a couple months ago, or like last month, something like that. It's still going, so it's from like, it's technically all of July. I'm just finding it very difficult to believe that July is about to end. And that's Stuck With You by Ellie Hazelwood. This is the second book in the STEMinist novellas. They're not long, and then the audiobook will go by really quick. But yeah, just another romance to add on. And then lastly, a book with potions or poison. I'm going with Realm Breaker by Victoria Aveyard. Again, I could change because this is huge. I have quite a few big books on here, but we're going to try to go for this one. I do think I have the audiobook for this also checked out. And it has an assassin and a sorceress. One of those two will have potions or poison. They have to. And if they don't, I'm going to scream. But it's about a squire, an immortal, an assassin, a sorceress, and a pirate's daughter. All goes on the journey to save the world, I think. I've read Victoria Aveyard before. I liked the first book in her Red Queen series. Hated, and I mean hated, the second book. So we're going to see how this goes. But I've heard really good things, and it just seems more up my alley, so we're going to try that. But that is it. That is it for this TBR. This insane TBR. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I am really excited to start reading. I want to read now. Like, I'm not kidding. I want to read now. But I'm going to hold off and wait until the readathon starts. Even though it's going to probably kill me. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you again later. Bye, and happy reading.